Hey everyone, welcome to Moving Matt. We do all things cameras with a dash of vlogs and a little bit of travel. And this is Camera Wars, the show where we give you the latest camera news and let you know just how the battle is heating up. First up, this first story is really a non-story, but here it is anyways. According to the TV psychics of rumor sites, the Sony a7 IV has been delayed from mid-September to late October. This story should come as no surprise to anyone who read the same story when they posted it a month ago. Look, almost everyone knows that the Sony a7 IV is due at this point. We are already halfway through August, and oh my god, halfway through August. There's been no reliable leaks, and Sony hasn't released a major alpha camera in December for as far back as I care to look for this bit. So saying it will be released in late October, which puts you just close enough to November to say I was kinda right, I think that hardly qualifies as a prediction. But with all that being said, this does supposedly come from a source that was right about the ZV-E10 being delayed, so maybe there's some validity to this report, but with the world situation, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But speaking of getting your hopes up, it looks like Fujifilm lovers can get their hopes up for the Fujifilm Summit coming on September 2nd. According to Fuji rumors, the mystery camera that's supposed to be announced is the XT30 II. If you're unfamiliar with that line of cameras, it is known for being 90% of its XT3 bigger brother at 60% of the price. Considering this should be that for the XT4, and the XT4 is already a beast of an APS-C camera, that should bode well for what this may be capable of. My only slight concern is the naming departure. There was the XT20, then the XT30, and now this, the XT30 II. Now, does this mean that it is only going to be an incremental upgrade, kind of like what Panasonic did with the GH5 II?
No! God, please, no!
Or is this just a marketing thing? I guess only time will tell. Now, I am definitely biased for this camera, considering my first interchangeable lens camera was the XT20, but I will say that if you're someone who's fairly new to cameras, or just want a camera company that is truly invested in their APS-C sensor, this camera and Fujifilm may be the way to go. Are you a Fujifilm fan? Are you excited about this summit? Drop in the comment section below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit that like button until it turns blue and subscribe if you're into that type of thing.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. Next up, photos of the Tamron 35-50 f2 to f2.8 were revealed by Tamron USA Instagram. This chode of a lens is definitely notably bigger than Tamron's recent lenses in a similar focal length, but considering how light those lenses were, I'm very interested to see how this compares in size and weight to, say, the Sony or Sigma 24-70. This is the first f2 zoom for the Sony E-mount, so the extra weight is understandable. My biggest remaining questions are, at what focal length will this transition over to 2.8, and how much more money will that extra glass cost?
$100 billion!
Next up, we have more information about the Canon rumors confirmed R5C. If you're unfamiliar with this camera, it is essentially supposed to be an R5 with a fan and slightly more cinema style ergonomics. Think the A7S III and the FX3, but maybe not that dramatic. So the new information is that the Canon R5C will come with the new Canon digital hot shoe that is found in the Canon R3. This hot shoe should open up many possibilities for the new Canon lineup, with a third-party accessory announced that will add XLR audio. Interestingly enough, 1 week ago I had someone comment on a video where I mentioned that the R5C may encroach on the C70 market, and in his comment he said the big advantage the C70 and the C50 still have is the XLR sound inputs. To which I said, if they add the digital hot shoe they are putting into the R3, couldn't you have an accessory that could input XLR? I mean, I'm not saying I'm psychic, but that I fed my narcissism, Canon Rumors is also reporting that the R5 may receive this update as well in a paid upgrade. If true, the R5 is getting quite the upgrades, because the big news and firmware we've all been waiting for, at least if you have an R5 or are wanting to have one, is here. Canon added firmware 1.4, and to me, it adds some of the most needed features. Some of the highlights are that now 8K 30 10-bit is available externally to the new Ninja 5 Plus. It will use ProRes RAW, which should make your editing process much easier, and I think is a game changer. I do have one question though, is 10-bit seriously RAW? I personally thought that RAW would be 12-bit or higher, but maybe I am wrong. But probably the most notable feature in this update is that you can now dual record video to both card slots. This is a feature that was recently added to the 1DX and the R6 and was expected to be in the R5 soon, and well, soon is now. One thing that I did not expect was the range of video options that could be dual recorded. While 8K RAW and RAW Lite cannot be dual recorded, it seems that every other video option can be.
Impressive.
Another revelation delivered to us by the friendly neighborhood Canadian is that he was able to dual record 4K HQ with his secondary card being rated as a V30. Now, I did text Simon to confirm that this was the case and not just a slip of the tongue, and I was shocked to hear the slower card could handle that much information. Maybe someone in the comments can explain how this is possible. I'm assuming an extremely great buffer, but I've been known to not know a thing or two. I think this upgrade is something that Canon has needed for a while now, and to be real, if this feature was there from the beginning, it would have been hard for me to justify going dual system and picking up the Sony a7S III. I'm not saying that I regret my decision, but I am saying that Canon just added a whole lot of value, and I think Canon shooters should be happy with the direction Canon is moving. But those are just my thoughts. I want to know yours. Are you excited for this update? Do you have a Canon R5? If not, will this persuade you to get one? Drop in the comment section below and let me know. Well, that is the current state of the camera wars. If you've liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.